And so here we are with Devil Straight. Would you like to introduce yourself and what you do in this project?
I'm David Makó from Hungary, not from Budapest anymore. I moved to the village where I grew up. I've been doing the Devil Straight project since 10 years. I started as a one-man band, essentially acoustic, very sad songs. And then this whole journey just evolved into a band version of this. Because originally I'm from the doom, hardcore, sludge scene. My first band, Stereo Christ, was a stoner doom thing. And I think I was gravitating back to that sound. The last show where I finally decided that I have to make it a band and I have to write a whole album like for a band was at the festival Roadburn. That was the last time where I played alone. And it was so big, the sound was so big that I created there that there were no more steps alone. I had to share it with others.
Of course it was a road burn.
Of course
it was a burn, right?
Yeah, it's like when I started this, I never even imagined, I never dreamed of going to Roadburn not even as an audience. I thought that playing at Roadburn would be the last step. So when I played at Roadburn, I can finish it, finally. I can go home, I don't have to play music anymore, I'm done. Well, actually, it's the opposite. I played 4 times at Roadburn.
How has it changed you as an artist? And you started doing things with other people.
Yeah, with my friends.
Nice.
That was what I already mentioned. That there is no more steps higher alone. I have to make it bigger with someone that I really deeply know. And they are my best friends, and so the drummer, and the guitar, the keyboard player, we've shared the stage at least for 15 years.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, and I miss them. So now we're together. Actually, this is the second show we've done with this lineup.
I think that's beautiful when you can combine the friendship and making something that you value, and doing that together.
I think most of the bands that I shared the road with, they are the same. I mean, in this sense that they are all friends. Like Der Wege in der Freiheit, I don't probably you know them. It's a German black metal band, shoegazy black metal, beautiful music. They are all friends for a very long time. Then Amenra, they're all friends for at least 10 years, or maybe they are probably longer than that. It can be professional, but in the same time, you stay to be a child because you're having so much fun. And the hardest thing when you're playing with your friends is that I do a pretty sad music, so we're like dying in laughter behind the stage before the show.
Okay, yeah.
And then we have to go on stage and channel this sadness from deep within, and it's challenging.
Yeah, if you're just cracking up jokes, and then
exactly.
Okay, now poker face. Sorry for the sound person.
Yeah, and it's happening on stage during the show too. So when I'm catching a blink or some smiles there, and I said, no way, don't turn to the audience right now. Turn your back to the audience because it's fun.
What do you think? What kind of a vibe is it going to be tonight at Sonic Rites?
I really want to see Collapse and I Hate God.
Mm-hmm.
And
you met the I Hate God now, right?
And actually, the singer of Collapse is now my new agent. So that's the first time we meet.
Wait.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have a huge. I mean, I Hate God is like disco for me. For people like me, it's the disco. We are dancing to those riffs. So it's gonna be a party, I think.
Love that.
And I can't wait to get into the audience, meeting these to meet these people. It's always the best part of a festival.
So you say that you are doing like very sad music and stuff because it's in Hungarian, the lyrics. So I didn't really
Some of the songs are in Hungarian.
Yeah, and they seem so interesting. I was immediately curious about those. Like that, what's the messaging behind there?
Actually, the first time I wrote a lyric in Hungarian was on my latest album, because Hungarian language is so difficult, and we have so many genius, great poets that I don't want to have the impression in others that I'm writing poems, because the level is so high in Hungary when it comes to literature. So I didn't want to get into this world for so many years, and
you felt too risky in a way,
and disrespectful.
Okay.
I waited for a very long time, but I had many Hungarian songs, but they are all folk songs, very old, ancient folk songs, mostly from Transylvania. Transylvania was a part of Hungary for a very long time.
Yeah.
Actually, no, don't get into this because it's a very long story. I covered these very sad folk songs into my world, and they are mostly about loss, being away from your loved ones, going to war, leaving your family behind, leaving your village behind, leaving your country, moving to somewhere else to try to live, because it was so hard to live in Hungary or in Transylvania as a Hungarian. And the sadness that, we are very alone in the world, the Hungarians. Our culture, our language, we have a small relation to Finnish people in our language, but we are very separated in the heart of the Mid-Eastern Europe. We don't have any cultural connections in our past with our neighbors. We don't share. Everyone speaks different languages around us. So when a Hungarian person moved to somewhere else, he's or she is deadly alone. And back then, they didn't speak English or French or German. They spoke only their language. So you move somewhere where you cannot share your thoughts, your emotions. It's so desperate. I mean, and some of the songs are about this.
So you're kind of going back to your roots, and that I understand that melancholy. I think like Finns have the really similar
exactly.
kind of thing. And maybe that is something that unites us as well. With the language, it comes from how did you say, like the
Finnugor, the Finnugor.
Yeah.
We both were harassed by the Russian government. I mean, the Russian Empire. When something like the Russian Empire or the German Empire touches a culture and stays there for a long time, especially Russian, it leaves wounds behind. And that's what I love in Finnish people and in Polish people, that you guys don't forget your past. And you remember these wounds. Back in Hungary, people just doesn't care. We have the same political connection. We are slaves of the Russian government, actually. So we don't learn our mistakes and we don't remember our wounds. The first song that I wrote in Hungarian is about this. It's about this estranged idiotism that we are our own enemy in our country. But as I heard, there is some very dark clouds above Finland. We talked to the driver about some politics and right-wing government and whatever. It's just, guys, don't let them.
I think we are probably talking the whole of Europe at the moment.
Yeah, it's
much
happening everywhere.
For me, it sounds like what you've done with your art and with your music. It's kind of like a little rebellion.
It is.
Like it's an act of rebellion.
It is.
Against this kind of
sickness. Yeah.
Yes. So that's really good and beautiful to hear.
Thank you.
Let's keep it here. Let's keep the fire burning,
Yeah,
eh?
I will. It's a fire forever.
Yes, and thanks for music for that. Thanks for coming. Much appreciated.
Thank you for listening to my what I have to say, and enjoy the rest of the festival. As I know that's your last interview, so you can dive in the party.
We're gonna go and see some bands, and we're filming some bands as well.
Nice. So you're still working? Okay.
Yeah. Well, but it's working fun.
Yeah, it is.
We're still holding mics and just talking here. Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you for your time.
What are you gonna see then? Well, then I hate God, obviously. So will you be the one moshing there on the front row?
I'm not that aggressive.
Yeah.
I have the aggressiveness in my life.
Hey, we wanted to have. Hey, okay. We really want to hear
All right.
your sauna story. Can we hear the sauna story? Because I think it was hilarious. Yes, is that okay? You know, us Finns, we love the sauna more than anything. So
Me
that's
too.
why I'm always so curious to hear about people's sauna stories.
So that was the first time I went into a sauna in Finland. I don't remember the place. It was somewhere, in some village, and it was a huge garden, and the sauna was outside at the end of the garden. It was a small wooden house. These guys, our hosts, told me that in the morning when we wake up, let's meet at the sauna. So I went there. I had my sweet little shorts on me. I went into the cabin, and there were these big guys, all tattooed, all naked, drinking. How was it? Drinking beer, but they were pouring some alcohol on the stones in the sauna.
Yeah, it makes it smell like bread.
Yeah,
the whole sauna.
But while you're smelling bread and seeing dicks around you, it's not bread that comes to your mind. And so I went in, and they stopped me and asked me if I'm gay, if I was gay. I said, I think you are gays. You are here naked.
You know they were from Hell's Angels.
No, we found it out later, and they said no. That's the first lesson you have to learn about Finnish sauna. There is only two kind of people wearing clothes in the sauna: the Swedish and the gay people. Actually, we went to their base. It was a huge facility. They show us around, and they said, no, you cannot enter this door, you cannot enter this door, don't even ask about it. Mm-hmm. That was the last date on our tour.
This was still in Finland now?
This was in Finland.
The same,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. We were supposed to have a concert for them on our last night. We were drinking for a week. There's only small fractions of that period that I can recall because of so much alcohol. Koskenkorva, but the black one, with salmiakki.
Yeah.
They started to make some cocktails for us, and they didn't let us know what's in the cocktail. The show was cancelled because we were not able to play music anymore.
Okay.
And somehow I managed not to throw up during the week. But when we arrived to the Hungarian airport, and my father and my ex-girlfriend was waiting for me, and the door opened, and I stepped out from the airport, and I threw up there.
They were like, where have you been?
All around in Finland. But I stopped drinking. It's all good now. I remember everything.
but some stories there, right? For sure. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Super.